treated like a crowd. That hurts the worst because I know I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person. Sharp. I walked out of an abusive relationship with the clothes on my back, and a week later lost my job. So it was a series of events that happened that I hadn't anticipated. I ended up on the street, and that first night I spent riding the train back and forth. Until it shut down, they kicked me off. I think I got some coins from a fountain that night so I could get food in the morning. Between 4 and 6 a.m. I always thought was the loneliest time. People are getting ready for work, and you feel the stirrings of a city. And it's like a different world. You're not part of that anymore when you don't have a home and you don't have a job. You're just another piece of debris to be kicked aside on their way to work. To be ignored. I didn't understand that before. I really didn't. And having that realization that I didn't matter, I didn't count. I wasn't contributing to that cycle of the economy. I wasn't a consumer. College educated, I went to San Francisco State, majored in psychology. I also attended San Francisco City College, where I majored in gerontology. But I ended up getting a degree in computer science. It made sense for money reasons, making $70,000 a year. I was driving to work. I was enjoying a $5,000 paycheck on a regular basis. I had a timeshare. I traveled at least twice a year. I had a 2-bedroom house. You know, when the economy crashed, that job closed thanks to Enron. They were our supporters and thought I had plenty of time, and I just made this decision that with this job that I had and school, I could survive if I walked out of this bad relationship. And it didn't work for me. My girlfriend and I came to Portland in a van, ready to make this our home. And events occurred that we were stuck in that van. It got cold. We had no heat in the van, so we were living in the van for many months. And we settled around Laurelhurst, nice park, kind of centrally located. We were very respectful of the residents in the area. We met several other car dwellers, and that's a different kind of homelessness, car dwelling. When winter started to settle in, we were literally scraping ice off the windshields, on the inside and the outside. And you can't drive to Fred Meyer's to use the bathroom until you get those windshields clear. And somebody told us about an organization called Join, and we pulled our pennies for the gas fare to drive out there, checked in with them. We're able to get vouchers for laundry, use their showers. They asked where we were camping. They brought blankets to us, just out of the blue. We're sitting there and somebody pulls up next to us and they've got 2 heavy blankets. Well, we asked about housing and they said, well, what have you got? And my then girlfriend, now wife, had Social Security, so we had some income. It just wasn't enough for application fee and deposit and first month's rent. And Join said, we've got that. We can get that taken care of for you.
My name is Shannon Singleton. I'm the Executive Director of Join. Join has been operating since 1995 and initially was really focused on education and conducting immersions, taking folks out into the community to talk with people who were sleeping outside, connect on a human level and understand the problem from a different angle, and particularly during days that severe weather is called for the city of Portland. we go out and do a very concerted effort of making sure folks have life-saving things like blankets, socks. We try and make sure that they aren't going to die on the street. A lot of times that's how we connect with folks for a longer term support as well. We have teams of 2 walking around on trails, up and down streets, if there's alleyways, anywhere that somebody who is sleeping outside and maybe not trying to be found would go, that's where our staff goes. We know that lack of sleep produces a lot of times symptoms of psychosis over time for folks, and the amount of people who stay up all night so that they're safe and then try to sleep somewhere during the day but can't because they're moved along because the rest of Portland is up. We also have a day center that operates and provides basic hygiene services, locker storage services, and mail delivery services.
Filled out the application and we're in an apartment within a month. And Join came in with furniture the next day after our first move-in, so that we had a futon to sleep on, and we had some dishes and a pot and a pan and a knife and a box of food. And they kept delivering food to us like every 2 weeks for that first month.
So Housing First is really about providing, again, that housing comes first. It's not saying that all the other issues don't exist, but let's get somebody housed, get them stable, and then we provide wraparound support services. So Housing First becomes a philosophy for us, I think. We believe in it. We think that it's a way that people should be able to move into housing, but it's been increasingly difficult to find the units for folks to move into.
HUD is the housing organization. We're not subsidized in our own apartment. We actually pay full rent, which is a struggle, but we do it. But they have connections with Join and some other organizations, so people can move in pretty fast. Like becoming homeless, becoming housed has a series of events. So Join connected me with Central City Concern. So once you're housed, you have a retention worker that works with you and checks in with you regularly to see how you're doing. And I said, I'm looking for work, but I'm not getting any. Get my resume up and current. So I used their resource center for their computers, their phone, so I could get my confidence back. I didn't have a lot of confidence at that point. You know, the street does that to you.
That sense of stability, it's like people physically change. And I often talk with folks once they're housed and they come back and chat. I often remark on how I see that weight of the world is now off their shoulders, and everything about their being seems lighter, and they're more engaged and able to be a part of their community and a part of our entire Portland community.
Most joyous moment of my life was them handing me the key. Having a fob. We have a fob that we have to wave and it opens the door. It's amazing.
You know, I think there's a couple of things happening. One is people had spaces that were more hidden in the past. We know the street count's an imperfect number, but it also showed that we had, using the same methodology, that we had the same number of folks outside. What I think has shifted is the underpasses are filled with boulders and people can't sleep there anymore, so they're in more visible places. And I definitely have seen an increase in tents, so I don't know if there's also a reality of people are acknowledging that homelessness exists and putting more of their donations and efforts into making sure people at least have some semblance of safety and being able to be out of the elements. So I do see better gear than I did in the past. But I don't know that I can say it feels like there's more people for me. I know it feels like that for a lot of the community. I'd like to see our system have both rent assistance but also dollars out the door to have units that we can actually put people into. So there's an ongoing challenge. I think for a while Portland talked about this as an either or. Either we fund shelter or safety off the streets, or we fund housing development. And I'm excited about the conversation today moving towards it's a both end. We need to both provide safety for people, and we know we have to build more units. I think with Community Alliance of Tenants really pushing this and advocating around declaring a renter state of emergency was a big catalyst for what I think has happened since then as well. We were seeing mass evictions in our community and rents going up at a rate that folks just couldn't afford. And I think Community Alliance of Tenants did a really good job of pushing that issue and calling attention to it. And then in the past week, we heard Mayor Hales come out with a desire to declare a state of emergency around housing and homelessness more broadly for the community. It comes back to me always to that affordability piece, and all the other components exist for the housed population as well. The difference is they have the financial resources to not be on the street.
Being homeless kind of taught me that people skills are really important, and mental health is so important. So I think something in the mental health industry would be good. And we looked at that and the various organizations and the training that I needed, and we found a company called Mentor that would pay for training. And so that's who I'm working for now. I'm working for Mentor Oregon. I'm working for their in-home children's services now. I'm working with autistic children. I want to do facility administration, hospital administration, and I want to help people have better lives. I really do.
I believe in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I think that shelter is such a basic need that it makes so much sense to provide that for people. I think for social workers, our job is to work ourselves out of a job. Really ending homelessness seems very feasible, and we know that solution is finding somebody a home that they can afford. I'd rather shift to providing supports in the community and retention supports and prevention for homelessness, as opposed to the amount of time and energy and frankly money that we spend on rehousing people.
You know, I walk around here and I think, if we were still homeless, where would I sleep at night? I still do that till this day. When I pass by a restaurant, I look at the nearest garbage can, because that's usually where people dump their leftovers. They make assumptions. You know, you're homeless because you did something wrong. I did nothing wrong other than have events occur and was not able to counteract that. My mother had still been alive. I probably would have never been homeless because she died. And I wonder sometimes who I would be today if that hadn't happened. Would I have gone ahead and gotten my PhD as I had planned? Would I now be touring the country, lecturing and talking, writing books? The damage of homelessness is there still today. I want to own a home. It was my mom's dream for me. I'm gonna keep trying for it and hope that I can get it.